Hey everyone, this is RandomGDGuy and I'm back with my next tutorial video. So in this video I will be teaching you how to make transitions once again, but this time some that may be a little bit more complicated but look more cool. Before I start, I would like to say that I'm sorry for being inactive. I just have school going on and I'm also currently taking coding lessons as well, but I'll try to stay as active as possible, maybe upload about 1 or maybe 2 videos a week. I'll also try to keep you informed of anything that happens, so I hope you enjoy the videos I've been making so far, and let's get started. So I guess one that I could make right now could be, I guess we could try something kind of like my death effect level, if anyone's seen it, with the square closing in and opening. So I guess to start this off, we will put down a center point. We need a center point that will represent where the sides will close in. So I usually like to use this dot right here, and we'll go and put it right there for now. And then we will assign it to a group, which in this case will be group 1. And I guess we can also make this center point be where we could put down a static block right here, like so. We can set it to group 1 and then be instant. We don't need to check X or Y, and we already got a good start. So now okay, I think I lost it. There it is. So now that we have our center point, I guess we can go and start making the sides. So what we can do is we can start off by putting a block on top and kind of make something like a line, like so. This one we could be about this long, and then we will assign this to a group, which will be group 2. We'll set the Z layer to be T3, T3 and and 1. We can check don't fade, don't enter, and don't glove. And we get assigned to a new color group like so. So now we can just start copying it up like so. And here we go. So now we got one side done, but we need to do it for all the sides. So another little thing I can show you is just to select the whole thing, and I guess we can link them. Copy and paste it, and then move it up with these arrows right here. Move it up about twice. Put this one Z layer higher and put it in a new color group and make it black. This will kind of make it look a little bit more cooler, and you'll see that later. Finally, we can just select the objects and put them in a new group like so. So now we have one side done, and I guess we can send this to a new editor layer. That means we're gonna have to repeat the same process for all 4 sides, but here I'll show you a cool little shortcut to shorten up the process. So you start off by copy pasting the group, flip it upside down, and then we can move it down like this. So now you see we have another side already done just like that. And then finally we can just grab the sides, copy it, and rotate it like so. And now there we go. Now we have all 4 sides. But you're gonna need to put these on a new layer. Put this on layer 2, put this on layer 3, and then put this on layer 4. There we go. So now we have all the sides down, and we're gonna have to put these all in a new group since they're all in group 2. So we could put this in group 3, this in group 4, and then this in group 5. Like so. So now, as you see, they all go around this one center point right here. Well, I guess before that, I guess we need to go and align these we're gonna do this, and then and then grab this, that, there. Now they all go around this center point like so. So now we just need to move them so that they don't all go like this, otherwise the transition won't work. For the top and bottom, this should be easy because we can just move it up with these blocks right here, or these buttons. So we just move this up about 200, and then we can move this down about 200, well, or just 100. We're gonna have to make a move trigger to move that down another 100 soon. For this one should also be easy because we can just move it over. But for this one right here, if we try to move it over, it will go to the edge of the screen or the start of the grid. So we're gonna do the same thing with this as what we're about to do with this. So we first off need to find what group it's in, and it says group 3. So we will go to the beginning, go put this in group 3, set the time to 0, and move X back -200. And then for 4, which is the one that goes down, we're going to set this to move Y down another 100. So that way they're all down 100. So now if we go, and we'll turn, now if we go, as you see, they're all away from the point. And if we go into the level, but before we do that, the reason why I usually scroll all the way to the edge and put a random trigger down is that right now, as you see, this is only 8 seconds. So if we start, it's going to pretty much end immediately. But if you grab a random point and set at the edge, it extended the time to 37 seconds. And that way it won't just end immediately, but that's just me being me. So now if we go into the level, and as you see, we don't see any of the blocks. So now comes time to make it zoom in. So we will start with group 2, which will be to move Y down -200. And then we set the time to, the longer it is, the more smoother it looks. So I guess we can set this to 1.50 seconds. And the easing, I guess we could set to maybe not sign out, but maybe, well, yeah, maybe sign out. But actually it needs to have 210, or else it will just make that small little square that we saw earlier. So now we'll set that to 2. And then for 3, as you see, we set to move X back -200, which means we need to set this to move X forward 210. And then 4, we need to move this Y up 210. And then 5 would be to move X back -210. So now, if we like so, there you go. And then you can make it, if you want, we can just copy this, and then we can move it over to be about a couple blocks after it started, and then we can just pretty much reverse the triggers. So we can make this move Y up 210, and then we can make this move X back -210, and we can make this move Y back -210, and then we can make this move X forward 210. But then we need to change the easing to be in, or else it'll just kind of instantly go out. So now if we go in, it closes, and then it opens. So there you go, that's one transition. So I guess another one that I can do is that one arrow transition from my level transitions, where it's just a bunch of arrows that go in and out. And I kind of in my previous level Kush as well, except it wasn't arrows, it was more of zigzags. So in order to do that, we will just set this to be the rocket game mode. And we'll put down a rocket portal to show the boundary lines or whatever these are called. And I guess just for me being style, we'll set the ground to be black. And there will be no line. So in order to do this transition, it'll be kind of like my other transition video that I showed you, but it'll be a little bit more trickier, I guess you could call it. So we can just start by making an arrow, kind of like I'm about to make a mirror effect, which was actually originally going to be my first ever tutorial video, but it didn't quite turn out well. I'll try to make a tutorial on my mirror effects that I usually make in my levels. So after we make our arrow, we'll copy the values of this and then go to this block and then do this like so. Oh. And there we go. We got one arrow. But what I usually like doing, well, before we do any more, don't fade, don't enter, and don't glow. Make sure it's in a new color group. What I usually like doing for my arrows is I'll copy paste one of the edges right here, throw it in a new layer, one layer up higher, and then just set the brightness to 0, making it black. And this kind of adds something like an outline to it, which makes it look cooler in my opinion. Up and up. We'll just do this, and then just gotta kind of remake another arrow inside. And here we go. So there. I guess that kind of looks decent enough. So now, what I usually like doing is I'll just lock this. And then we'll set this in a group, make it be group 1, which we'll set group 1 as usual to do. Lock the player X for whatever time we want. And now comes something kind of like measuring, I guess. So basically we'll move this over straight to the start. And that means as soon as we play, the arrow will be right there, right by our player. So you gotta remember how far you move this back. So in my case, I'll move this back, and you gotta remember that until it reaches your player. So what I usually like doing is adding an extra 100, 200 blocks to it so that it will also go behind the player, or else it'll look weird. So now we'll set 1 at a random point in time, like right here, to do in about 1 second. Move X back negative 450, and we'll set this to be exponential out because it'll look pretty cool. So now we'll add in this over here to extend the time, and then there you go. So I guess we can just move this over another one, and then we'll set this right here. So now we only got 1 arrow done. So what we need to do next is kind of add in a bunch more arrows and add them into a new group. And this is where I'll show you, this is where I use the build helper right here. So basically, which is you copy your object and you move it to where you want it to go. And then you copy the trigger and move it where you want it to go, which we'll set right here. You select your object and the trigger, and then you go and select build helper, like so. So now as you see, this is in group 2, and this is also right here in group 2, but it has the same properties as group 1, and this should save you a lot of time building, and so that way you don't have to spend a lot of time just copying and doing everything like that. But for me, it took me a while to figure out what this actually does, so I can't really talk. So then we just do this like so, just a couple of times, and I guess maybe 5 arrows should be enough. Alright. Up. Okay, I guess we'll just add this in group 5 anyways. There. But now we just need to add all this in. I guess we'll put this all in group 6. And then we'll change this to group 6. So now if we go in... Oh! This was pretty close. I guess we should probably just put all these to be right next to each other. And 2 more should probably do the trick. So we'll just do this. And this. And this. And then just 1 more. Alright. Alright. And I'll turn off grid to show you something real quick. You can kind of see these faint lines around it. To be honest, I don't know why slope blocks do that. But to fix that, we just need to move it over just a tiny bit over. Well, maybe a couple should do the trick. So yeah, this might take a while. Yeah, this over, and then this over. Up. And now we go in. There we go, but that was weird. Oh. Eh. Guess must have left it in one of the groups by accident. What? Oh no. Oh. Are these all in group 6? Oh. I don't know what that was. In group 6. I said one of these is group 6 by accident. Oh. Let's see. Let's play through this. Doesn't look like anything's out of the ordinary here. Oh, there we go. I guess there's just something weird going on. Alright, so now that we got that done, what we can do next is, after this is all done moving right at the end of this white line, or what I usually do is I just lift one of these up. So right at the end of this line right here, as you see, we will just take all these and then move it over, and I guess 1 block after we can have them all move again. You don't need to make it go in reverse or anything unless you want to do something like that, but that'll basically mean it'll just stop and then it will go forward. As you see, but we're gonna need to change the easing to in, and I guess we can move it over just 1 more to make it look good. There you go. So that's one that I haven't really used much, but that's just me being me. So I guess 1 more I could show you. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh. This is kind of weird for me to be doing, but let's just see 1 more in here that I could show you. I guess I can show that's kind of like right here. Not this one, well maybe that one, but this one. That one right there, I guess I could show you how to make that one. It kind of takes a while, and it also takes a lot of blocks. So basically, what I did for that one was I kind of saw it off of a game. Like it's just a bunch of small lines that just slowly move in. I basically just took the measurement of, well, I started off with these blocks right here, and I basically took the measurement of it moving over just one in the editor, and then I just kind of made it move, just made 10 of those and just made it move over. So if we take the measurement of it just moving over just one, not 10, but just one, like so, it kind of just moves over about one and just a couple of these blocks. So what I did basically was I just copied about 10 of these, and then I just put them each in one group and just made it kind of slide over until it filled up a whole block. I'll just kind of show you. So we copy, first off have the original, and we have this in one, and just put the next row, and you kind of see where I'm going with this. And then we just put down a trigger of it moving over one. And well, I didn't really put any easing in it. I really kind of wish I did the build helper. There. Now if we go take a look at it, you see it kind of like grows into a whole new block. I guess we could set this to sign in and out. Oh no. Well, let's just refix all these like so. And here we go. Now here's what I meant to do, was kind of set it into a nice smooth easing like this. There. So then what I did next was I basically just kind of copied it all into, see, I just kind of did something like this. This really does take up a lot of objects, so I wouldn't really recommend doing this transition unless if you have a good amount of objects to save or use. I don't know, whichever way you can call it. Up. And here we go. But I just kind of see it's 4,000 objects. And then what I did next was I threw it all into another new group, like group 11. And then we'll set group 11 to lock to player X for this time and make it go back -100 so I can at least go behind it. Oh. Well, that's weird. Oh. Something to go into a group or what? Hold on. This is kind of weird. Huh. Well, then this is odd. I don't really remember this happening when I did. Just take all this out of group 11. I guess we can kind of just do this. Okay. Well, I guess you kind of basically guessed what I did. And afterwards we can just, what I did next was I just made it all go in reverse -1, kind of like doing like a little blink effect. So I don't know why I did that. That's kind of weird. I guess I must have. Guess I must have reached the max amount of objects that can go in a group or something. But now when you go and see, yeah, that's basically what I did. It's kind of weird that it's doing that. So let's see. I guess there could be one more that I can show you, and I guess I kind of show you like the split one that happened at the beginning where it was the grid coming in and then the line came down and split it. I know that probably doesn't really count as an advanced transition, but I guess it could kind of be an upgrade from the basic sliding background one that I had in the beginning. So I guess what we can do first is, well, first off, you have to make sure you have an even amount of blocks so it can split in the middle perfectly. So I guess we can go for starting off with making a grid. We'll make it be white and black. Well, not white and black. We'll make it be gray and dark gray. So we can start off with making this gray. And then this one can be back down to 80. And we can put this here like so. So we can just copy this and there we go. I guess this can be an even amount right here. Yeah, 50 is an even number. So then we can just flip it like this. Up, and then we can do this. Alright, so now we got our basic checkerboard background. I still can't English well. And now what we need to do is kind of like what I said with the sliding background. We need to put this in a group, put this in T2 because T3 will be for the line. And we'll move this over about 300 should be good. So now what we do next is we set up our move command. Put it like, I guess we can make this go for a little bit longer just to be safe. And then we need to make this move back. We'll set move back negative 450. And in 1 second, well actually I set it for 2 seconds and set it to sign out. So now when we go in, as you see, well, that didn't really look good. There we go. So now, it slides in. But now we need to make sure we find the center of this. And one good way to do this, excuse me, is to put in a random object somewhere around. This is not really how I find the middle, but this is kind of, I guess, a good tip you could do. So you could put this in T3-1 and set this in group 1 and set it in a new layer to get it. Now we just need to find where it appears at. Hopefully we, oh, I guess it must have been blending in. There we go. Let's see. Oh, it didn't even appear anywhere. Okay, well, here's what we do. It says it moves back negative 450. So we can start off right here and move it over. So that's 100, 200. Let's try right here. And now let's see. Alright. There it is. So if we move it over 2 more, then that should be at least relatively the middle of it. So basically right here in between these two blocks is the middle, and that's where we're gonna put in the line. So what we do is we could turn on the grid to help. Then we can copy the values, grab the line, and then we do paste state, but not paste color because we need to stay white. And then we can put this in, whoops. Then we can go put this in group 2. And make sure we set this in T3, T32. Well, the reason we're putting it in 2 is the reason I'll show you later. So now when we do this, as you see, we now have the line. So now what we can do is we can copy the values of this, and then grab one of these. This is just for pretty much decoration. Paste state, put it in 1 so that's underneath. Grab a black, and we get the color black, and then we can turn it to be kind of like this. You know, make it look cool. So there you go. And then we do this. Just make sure to move it down. And now, as you see, we now have our line. And we'll do this just for later. I recommend doing this for later. So now when we go in, I think I forgot to make sure it's not fade or anything. There. We now have our middle line, as you see. So now finally what we do is we put this in a new group. We first move it up 100, put this in group 2, so that afterwards we can make this group 2. 1 second. Have it move white down 100, and we can set it to sign out, because why not? And now make the line move down. As you see, stops, the line moves down. And now for the splitting, this is the reason why I said do this. So then we can just easily put this in group 3, and also with the group, everything to the left of the line, like right here. This all goes in group 3 as well. And then we do the same for the other side. We put this in group 4, and then everything to the left of this line also goes in group 4. Also, I know it's kind of uneven. I don't really know why. And then after the line moves down, finally, we can have 3 and sign in. And in 2 seconds, we have this move X forward. I guess 400 would be fine. And for 4, the exact opposite, X move back 400. So now, when we go into the level, as you see, slides in, line goes down, and it opens up like that. So, I guess that can be the end of this tutorial, and in my next one, I guess I could show you my effects, and I hope I could probably get it out next Saturday, or if any other time if I can. So thank you for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you in the next tutorial video. Bye.